Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Lexi and today we are here with the Rome vlog. So as you can tell, I am home now. It is winter. I have left that sunny sun in Rome behind, but I had a fantastic time. I've been home for about a week and a half and yeah, I cannot believe we went to Rome. My boyfriend Sam and I spent a week in Rome and we did all of the hotspots. We saw Pompeii, we saw the Colosseum, we went to the Vatican Museums, and we also saw the other sites like the Trevi fountain, the Pantheon, and oh my god, it was like something out of a movie. We booked the trip in December and then we went in June. So we had like 6 months to plan it. I have a few planning videos to share with you guys as well. If they're not out already, keep an eye out for them. They'll come out soon. But yeah, it was a fantastic experience and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this video. Hello guys, as you can see we're on our way from Larnaca to Rome. This was actually a really quick flight. It probably took 3.5 hours, which was so much easier. We landed in Rome and we did have a hiccup, so we had organised transport through the hotel to pick us up and take us there. But unfortunately they didn't show. We waited a whole hour and nobody showed, so we caught a taxi, but the taxi was a super simple process and got us there really fast. Apart from that hiccup, this hotel was amazing. I'm going to make a separate video about this hotel because that was how I picked it from somebody's YouTube video, so I want to sort of give back and do that as well. But as you can see here, I'm giving you guys like a pretty brief overview of the room. As you can see, it's got everything you need. Please ignore my mess, but these rooms were fantastic. There was a lot of space, especially compared to other rooms I had seen online. You have your safe, you have like hanging space, closet space. We had a working air conditioner, which again, that was something I was told to look out for when picking a hotel. We had a working lift as well, so we did not have to lug all of our stuff up flights and flights of stairs. And yeah, this one had included breakfast, included Wi-Fi, and obviously these little treats in your room as well. Such a fantastic place, and yeah, we really loved this hotel. The view from the window looks out to this little courtyard, and there are some other really good amenities at the hotel too. Like I said, look out for the video on this hotel. For our first full day in Rome, we decided to go to Pompeii. This was a full-on trip. It was definitely the hardest adventure of the trip. And in a way, we were both kind of glad that we did it first, because once we had the hardest thing out of the way, everything else was relatively simple and straightforward. What made this one hard was the fact that it is so far away. It takes 2 to 3 hours on public transport, and it takes the same amount if you were to hire a driver or drive yourself. It's also multiple trains and buses. You first catch the fast train, then we had to get a regional train, then we had to get a shuttle bus. Then you arrive at Pompeii and it is just walking for miles. We booked the train tickets pretty far in advance because the earlier you book them, the cheaper they are. But we actually couldn't book the entry tickets to Pompeii until we were in Cyprus. It's really hard to explain, but they're released in bouts. I'm making a video about ticketing, so definitely check that one out for more information. But yeah, there's so much organization that goes into getting from Rome to Pompeii, but it was 100% worth it. Pompeii is just quite far away from Rome, but we did just want to stay in the one place for the whole trip, so we decided to make the trek out there. I did so much research on how to get here, how to use the trains and things like that. Doing all that research definitely helped and made it a lot smoother on the day. So I definitely recommend going through YouTube and seeing how other people did it, because it will definitely help you when you're in the moment. Pompeii was also just so much walking, so I think doing it on the first day meant that we really pushed ourselves to see as much as we could. I feel like if we'd have done this at the end of the trip, we probably would have just been too worn out and not seen half as much as we did. So keep watching to see some footage of us exploring Pompeii, and we will be back with an update soon. Welcome to my store. Would you like to buy some nice herbs and spices?
I don't know, baby. It's looking awful dry.
Or I can pour you some wine from this amphora. It is nice and cool.
I need a refund.
We have just found like the main square. Definitely giving off main square vibes.
Yeah, you say the square. It's a square.
I'm gonna meet you by the Centaur Man, which is, I don't know, I'll insert a photo here. And yeah, we think we are heading towards a place for lunch. Maybe.
It's like 2:30.
It is, yeah. Well, yeah. We'll find something, but how freaking awesome is this? We are in Pompeii. Oh my god!
Great.
Secret tunnel.
And I forget the next couple of lines, but then it goes, Secret tunnel, secret tunnel.
This is another update for the vlog. So we got some lunch and we are just still exploring and having a fun time.
This is so cool.
It's really fun. Like, look at all this. You're just surrounded by all this history. It's so awesome. Like, arches, Sam, more ruins. Like, it's just awesome. I really like it, man. I'm having a great time.
Here's where we came in.
Yeah.
Did that.
Yeah.
We walked up here and we did the Antiquary. Nice museum. There's a lot of dead bodies in there. We'll show you some stuff. Came back down because we couldn't get up here. All the way around here. Came in through here, saw the theatres. We saw the little one and the big one. Then we came to try and find something to eat there, but the cafe wasn't there anymore. So we had to look around these houses here.
Yep.
Came all the way back down this road to the big square, which was awesome. And then we've come all the way up here to the Royal Industries.
Wow. After a long day of exploring, we decided to make our way back to the shuttle to then get back on the train and make it in time for our pre-booked fast train. So again, this was a lot of navigating. We also didn't know when the last shuttle was, but we were lucky enough to get the second last one back. And yeah, we made it in time for the train we had pre-booked. That train actually ended up getting delayed and we were sitting at the station terminal for probably half an hour to an hour. The good thing is these fast trains are super comfortable, like there's a desk, there's a comfy chair. They've also got toilets. They are squishy like plain bathrooms, but they do the job. Here's a photo of the schedule and also a reminder to always verify your ticket. You have to put it in this little machine. We are now time traveling to the next morning. We had breakfast at the hotel. We did pay extra when booking the room to have breakfast included, and this was definitely a win. It just eliminated that need for finding something to eat in the morning or going grocery shopping. We were also allowed to fill a tray and take it back to the room if we wanted to, so that was super helpful as well. As you can see, there were so many different options. There was definitely something for everybody. All of the food tasted amazing and there was slight variations each day. My favorite part was the croissants because they were baked fresh on site. Absolutely delicious, and honestly, I still think about them. The coffee machine was also fantastic and made really great coffees. After breakfast, we were headed to the Vatican, and as you can see, this was like not even the beginning of the line for people who hadn't booked. We obviously got to zoom past because we had pre-booked. Even though it was a really tricky ticket to get, it was so worth it. I cannot imagine waiting in this line. Once we got through the line, it was actually a bit hectic trying to get into the Vatican. You had to do a bag check and then you had to change your electronic printed ticket into a real ticket. You do an exchange and then you have to put that ticket through like a wheelie thing to get in. Then there is a whole bunch of escalators. Then you are finally there. At some point in that process as well, you were meant to grab a map and we never did it. So once we were like in and looking for a map, they said you'd have to go all the way to the beginning if you wanted to get one. So we just did without. You obviously can get the map online, but it's very fiddly, it's super hard to read, and it was in a weird place on the website. So we just ended up making do, but definitely a pro tip is to grab the map at the beginning. I don't know where they are because I didn't see them, but apparently they are there. Despite our lack of a map, we are pretty sure we saw all of the exhibitions. My favorite one was definitely the Egyptian Museum that you saw at the beginning. I also really loved the statues. I just cannot wrap my head around the way that these were created. They are so lifelike. We also ended up having lunch at the cafe that's in the grounds, and we both probably had the best ever cheese toastie there. It was obviously very Italian, but it was so good. We had a wine. It was just such a nice atmosphere and a beautiful day. It also wasn't overly expensive. I feel like it was definitely well priced, and we were expecting it to be very overpriced, seeing as it was in the Vatican. So we're at the Vatican and we're about to go to the Sistine Chapel. Hold on. Hello. So we are at the Vatican and we're about to go into the Sistine Chapel. So we are almost at the end and oh my god, it's been so amazing.
So much old stuff.
So much old stuff. My favorite part has been the Egyptian room. I think that is just sick. It's amazing. What's your favorite?
I think all the old statues in that one hallway.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I
They're
did
all
like
huge
that.
And they like towered above me and I'm 67, so that was kind of awesome.
There's also a lot of tall people here so far.
Yeah, I felt like a short king a couple of times.
But yeah, so we're about to do the last part and we'll check in later. There was actually quite a lot more before we got to the Sistine Chapel, which we were not expecting. I think that is definitely my biggest takeaway from this day was that there was so much more walking than we anticipated. It was obviously 100% worth it. We saw such amazing things and the Sistine Chapel was so beautiful. It was also very much like what I had read online. The walk to the chapel, you very much feel like cattle being herded down a hallway. There are so many people and everyone's going in the same direction. And even though it's meant to be completely silent, you can still hear like a constant murmuring. You also cannot take any photos or videos in that area. When you're finished at the Sistine Chapel, there is 2 exits and we were not sure which one we were supposed to take. but it turns out we took the wrong one because we didn't end up out at St. Peter's Basilica like I had assumed we would. We ended up weaving back through the museum, and honestly, I think it was actually the best thing because we were so exhausted. We would not have been able to appreciate the basilica. Once we got out, we headed straight across the road for some cold drinks, and this gave us some energy to get the train back. Then after a quick rest, we headed out for a beautiful local dinner at a restaurant that was probably less than 2 minutes from the hotel. The next day was Colosseum Day, so stay tuned for an update. So we're here at the Colosseum, and we got here at the time we needed to. We got here early and we're just waiting for our ticket time to be able to go in. It seems like an easy process. Like, we saw the massive line of people presumably waiting to purchase their tickets, but we got to just breeze through because
It was
we did
like
it online.
we did it like that yesterday. We got to the Vatican yesterday. You would have seen that massive line of people.
Yeah.
And
insane.
it felt like a huge power move just to walk past. Like, haha, we booked.
It was kind of the same thing, and then even like,
But yeah, no, it's cool.
yeah, handing the lady our ticket, and she's like, oh, just come back at 10. We have a 10:20 entry. The train was super easy to navigate, really quick. It's like 2 stops from Termini, so that was super easy. And yeah, we're excited to go in and explore.
More to come.
And once again, you can see this insane line. It just is unbelievable. The amount of people that do not book tickets, like, I don't understand it and I do not promote it. Obviously, we got to breeze through the line, and the Colosseum was actually probably my favorite place that we visited. I absolutely loved that it had a blend of like undercover but also out in the sun activities to do. Basically, outside the ring of the Colosseum, you have a museum. You can see like all these original ideas for the Colosseum. You can see bits and pieces that they've saved from throughout the years. And although there was still tour groups and lots of people, it was pretty calm. As you can see in the clips, these parts were a bit squishy, like everybody obviously wants to get their good photo. But we were patient, and so were a lot of other people, and everyone did kind of just take turns. This site was just so much bigger than I ever imagined it to be. These tickets were probably the hardest ones to get, and even though we didn't get the ones that included access to the arena floor, we did really love it, and I don't think that experience was actually much different. You can see in these clips the people that have that because they are the ones on that ledge that really overlooks the underground, but I don't think their view would have actually been much different to what we could see. We are at the Colosseum.
This place is huge.
It's massive.
Like, behind us, you can see all of the inner workings of the underbelly of the gladiator floor. It's amazing. I'll tell you about it in voiceover, but it's insane.
So cool. Oh my god, look at all this. And there's a lot of people here, but it's not too bad. It's not too crazy.
I'm a little claustrophobic.
Just a little. We'll check in later. The only tricky thing about the Colosseum was leaving it. Basically, we went around the whole thing and got to the gift shop. Then there were some stairs to go down and we assume get out. But for whatever reason, they were blocked off. So obviously we just walked back around trying to find a different exit, and we ended up walking probably the whole thing all over again. When we were finally out, we headed across the road and had pizza for lunch. Obviously, this was a fantastic view, and the money we paid was definitely for the view. The pizza was very average. This restaurant had the absolute worst toilet I saw in Rome. There was one toilet for the whole restaurant, so it absolutely stunk. But of course, the view was really pretty, so definitely was still a overall good experience. After this, we headed to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. The entry to this site is included in your Colosseum ticket. It was just a short walk from the Colosseum. A lot of this was actually closed off when we got here, so we only did a short walk around and then we headed back to the hotel. Hello vlog, so just a quick update. So today we went to the Colosseum. It looks a lot better in person than this picture in the background, but we went and it was really fun. We quickly stopped off at Palatine Hill and the Roman Forum. We didn't stay too long because our feet were absolutely killing us, but we've come back to the hotel. We have had a cool down, a drink, a donut, and now we have decided to head out to Termini to look at some of the shops. We knew there was a few shops there, but we didn't realize how many until we got there. So we're gonna go have a wander, see what we find, and we'll probably stop off for some dinner as well. I will update the vlog again soon. Of course, we ended up going out for dinner, then we had some dessert as well. Then we called it a night so we could have another busy day in the morning. The next day we decided that we'd try to make it out to St. Peter's Basilica because we didn't end up seeing it when we did the Vatican. As we got closer though, we realized that most of the roads were blocked off, and this was because it was the Not Alone World Meeting on Human Fraternity. It was basically a big meeting of a whole lot of world leaders, and to get any closer to the Vatican you had to have a ticket. Instead, we decided to have a walk around and see Castel St Angelo. Unfortunately, we didn't go inside because obviously everybody had the same idea, so this had a really long line, but it was still a really fun day out. We are on the way to find some dinner. Have secured a rooftop bar. We've got a good spot with a view. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
And we're very excited to order some drinks.
It's gonna be great.
The next day was our last day in Rome, and we decided to get up super early so we could see the Spanish Steps and the Trevi fountain before all of the crowds. It was a really early start, but it was so worth it. We did it! We made it to Spanish Steps. Literally all the hints and tips that you see are correct. If you want to get cute photos at these hotspots, you have to be there early. Most people were really kind and really patient, and they sort of let everyone take turns with it. This was such a fun and surreal experience. I had honestly been looking forward to it the whole trip. Of course, I had my cute little Lizzie McGuire moment, and yeah, so much fun. So this is the Trevi at 6:30 on a Sunday. It is still quite busy. I did think it would be a little bit quieter, but you know, we make do. So we're gonna go take some pictures and we'll check in later. Before going on the trip, I was watching the live cam at random times of the day to work out the best times to go. And honestly, any time from like 5 to 6:30, you're sweet. Anything after that and it is a madhouse. While planning the trip, I realized that from the Trevi Fountain, you can also walk to a bunch of other hotspots. One of the major ones along the way is the Pantheon. We did stop to have breakfast right outside the Pantheon, which was amazing. What a good spot for breakfast. Wow. We then headed back to the hotel where we took a very well-deserved nap. Then later in the afternoon, we decided that we just wanted to stick local. And from a quick Google Map search, we found the beautiful Santa Maria Church. There was actually a service happening at the time, but we were still able to go in and have a look around. After having a wander, we headed to the most expensive gelato place. Hello vlog! So today is our final day in Rome. It has gone so quickly. We got up this morning at like 5 a.m. so that we could see the Spanish Steps, the Trevi Fountain, and all of the other amazing sites around that area.
Oh, we did the Pantheon and Piazza Navona.
We didn't realise, but on Saturday, Sunday and public holidays you do need a reservation for the Pantheon. So that is something to keep in mind if you are planning to go. We didn't really know that because we hadn't really planned on it. We just were sort of going to see how the day went. So it is something to keep in mind for next time. We had a beautiful breakfast by the Pantheon, and then we came back to the hotel for a little bit. Then we headed back out to one of the close churches. It was actually the basilica that we could see from the rooftop bar that we went to last night. So that was really awesome to see inside it. Then we had some overpriced gelato, and now we're back at the hotel.
Don't have the gelato outside the basilica. It was 23 euros.
Yeah.
For 2 small ice creams. Just don't. It's not worth it.
And 2 drinks. 2
Yes.
ice creams and 2 drinks.
Well, it was a can of Coke and an iced tea. It doesn't, you know, it wasn't a cocktail. Not that I'm, you know, salty about it, but a little bit.
Now we have the dreaded task of packing, and then we will be on our way home tomorrow. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this vlog, and don't forget to leave me a comment and like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Turn on the bell so you can see when this one uploads. She's great.
And I will see you guys in the next video.
Bye.
Oh, we need to watch our feet here.
Yeah, let's not trip over.
Let's not fall.
Don't film mine because mine's just a shitload of carbs. Oh, excuse me. Yippee! Bro, I'm fucking warm. You recording that? Can I include the thing about the dick bottle?
No.
No. Oh!